So, what's up again, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot minute since I posted anything halfway decent, so figured I'd change that today, and I'm going to give you a how much it costs to Aristo swap your IS300 video. My car's broken right now. The engine's fine. Broke my second gear yesterday, so if you're going to do this swap, highly recommend getting rid of the W series transmission and going with like an AR5, which I'm going to do very soon, or an R54 or a CD or whatever you can afford really at this point. Just get rid of the W series. It lasted like a month for me. Might last longer for you, I don't know. Just get rid of it because you're just wasting your time at that point. But I'm going to go over with you guys everything that I got for the swap and what things costed, and obviously prices might vary a little bit, but give you a general idea because a lot of people ask me like what parts I used and what things costed and etc. And I'm sick of answering everybody's questions, so I want to make a video so you can just watch this instead. Let's go. So I apologize because it's kind of windy, so I hope that doesn't mess with sound quality too bad. But I guess I'll start with this. The engine's already obviously in the car, but I paid $5,818 for this swap, start to finish. Maybe missing a couple little things, but that's a general idea of what you should expect to spend to do this swap yourself. Keep in mind that I did everything on this myself, minus a few parts, obviously, that I had to pay for, but I didn't have to pay a shop to do this engine swap for me. I did it myself. So that'll save you a bit of coin if you can get the things you need to do it yourself. But yeah, for starters, I paid $3,250 for this specific engine, Aristo 2jzGTE, with a non-immobilized ECU, which you definitely want. Do not get one that has a immobilized ECU because that could cause you problems. I got this from JDM Virginia. They shipped it straight to the front of my house on a semi-truck, and I pulled it off the truck, put it in my truck, took it to the shop, and I put it in here. But, so yeah, $3,250. Next, I used an Aristo fuel hanger, which was $200. I bought it on eBay. I can't exactly show you that because I'd have to remove my back seat, but it's underneath there. The IS300 is usually returnless fuel system. So basically what you have to do is run a return line from the hanger up to your engine. There's already an evap line that is normally on the IS300, which I did not use. So what I did is I used that factory evap hard line, and I just connected a hose, like it's like a 1-foot hose from the engine to the evap line. And then I cut it back here under the car. You can't see it right now, but I cut it back here and I ran a hose from down there to the fuel hanger, which is under the seat. So that solved the fuel system. I do not have an aftermarket fuel pressure regulator. I'm using the stock one that's on the GTE rail. I have wiring harness. I paid $700. If you use my name when you talk to Justin Collins, QFab Motorsports, you'll get a 5% discount on your order. Basically what I did is I sent him my GTE harness and my GE harness, and he converted the two together to make a swap harness. Literally plugs in. And I also got a MPX converter box from him, which was added into the total. And with the box, it makes all of your factory gauges work like normal. So my temp gauge works, my MPG works, etc., etc. Everything works like a factory IS300 should. I apologize that some of this is out of order. Next, eBay intercooler. Bought this on eBay. You could buy the intercooler separately if you want to. This was like $100, and the piping kit was like another $100. Works pretty well. Mine needs a little bit of modification. It's slightly off-centered that way, but it doesn't look horrible. it works, gets the job done. That's something I'll adjust at a further date, but yeah, expect to spend like $200 on your intercooler setup. A couple extra couplers I had to get because there's different sizes. This is, I believe, a 2.5. This, I believe, is 3-inch. Just a couple little random things. I needed another coupler for here. Most kits don't come with 45-degree bends, especially ones that are different sizes on either end. So look into getting those also. Next we have a AEM wideband. Bought that online for like 200 bucks. I actually modified my little ashtray thing here, coin holder, whatever you want to call it, and I put it right here, which I actually like the placement of that pretty well because it looks almost factory. I made this little plate for my boost gauge. This is just like a $30 cheap parts store boost gauge, which not the best one on the market, but it gets the job done. Shows me how much boost I'm running. Yeah, so both of those gauges together are like $230 or so. If you have any questions on how to install either of them, hit me up. Leave a comment, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook at 3Motion Garage, and I'll help you try to figure out how to install it. But if you're watching this video, you probably already know how to install it, so don't hit me up. Just kidding. What else? Oh yeah, so I bought a used clutch, which is no longer going to be in this car in the next couple of weeks because my transmission's broken. And I'm getting rid of the W55 completely, so that's kind of irrelevant at this point for me. But if you're gonna keep your W-trans, this is W55 in here. I used a W58 flywheel and clutch setup. Got it from a friend for $300. Actually worked really well. Probably too grippy, to be honest, because my transmission is now shot. But yeah, so that's 300 bucks. Next we got hoses and fluids. That's kind of a fluctuating price depending on where you can get things and how much things cost where you are. I put aside like 150 bucks for that stuff just because I didn't know you're gonna need oil, you're gonna need like coolant hoses, you're gonna need coolant, you're gonna need transmission fluid, diff fluid if you want to go ahead and replace the fluid in your diff. Yeah, that's kind of a you'll figure that one out yourself type thing. I did get a Chase Bays power steering kit. I still have to mount the bracket somewhere. Mine's just kind of hanging out in here right now, but it comes with the high pressure lines to your pump, the lines that go down to your power steering rack, and that was $320. Really, really, really like their stuff. Would 100% recommend it to anybody that is going to do this kind of a swap, because the GE has the reservoir and stuff integrated into the pump. The GTE does not, so it's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Next, Chase Bays ABS delete. So as you'll notice, the stock ABS module sits about here, and then you've got a million lines that run all the way back and across the firewall to your master cylinder. And as you can see, it's not there. I deleted it. I got the Chase Bays ABS delete. You can see here aftermarket lines right to the master. There's a proportioning valve down there. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see the edge of it right there. You see it says more to rear. And then it's got lines that come all the way out to the fittings for your front brakes. And then it's also got two lines that run down and connect where your rear brake lines connect. You probably can't really see it very well. Sorry about that. That was $350. My brakes feel absolutely amazing. I put all new pads and rotors on the front. I got Brembo pads. And then I did also new e-brake shoes in the rear. I didn't include that in the price because that doesn't really matter, I guess you should say, for doing the engine swap. I kind of did that separately, but the ABS delete was part of my swap procedure because the ABS gets all in the way. I didn't feel like putting it back there. As you can see, because I deleted it, I was able to keep my battery in the stock location, which I really like. Another thing I needed was this MAF pipe. I believe I ordered this one from not Chase Bays, Drift Motion, I think, and it was $60. This is so you can use the Aristo 2jzGTE MAF. What you see here, I did use a little bit of sealer just so no air can get in around and distort the signal. If you're gonna run like a standalone or something right away, you're not gonna need that because you'll likely be running a map sensor, and that we would put just about here. They say, I think it's 6 to 12 inches before your throttle body, so you'd want to put it about there. Next is the exhaust, which I did make myself. I set aside $150 for that, and you can kind of see here what's going on. It looks a little bit rusty because it's, I don't know, wet, and I didn't coat it, and it's not stainless. So yeah, it gets the job done though. Sounds pretty nice. What's next? Oh, Camry throttle cable, $50. Bought it some random website online. It was like Parts Geek or something like that. And you can see here, mine is a little bit ghetto right now. The cable is pretty long compared to the GE one. The GE one is too short though, so you're gonna have to change it. I'm actually gonna go through here one of these days and remove this and make a longer bracket so it can actually hold the cable in place without having to use zip ties. It works, but it's a little, whoops, sketchy. You didn't see that. Yeah, so that kind of gets the job done. That's something I need to readdress very soon. More than likely I'll fix that when I pull the W55 off and do the AR5 swap. Lastly, exhaust flange. That I also bought from Drift Motion. I basically bought that and I used that to make the rest of my exhaust. It just bolts to the stock, I guess, downpipe, you could call it, right off the turbos. But yeah, so basically $5,818. I think that pretty much covers everything. So yeah, like I said, I think that covers everything basically. So if you have questions, just hit me up. I don't really think there's much else to say. Don't ask stupid questions. I answered them all already. If you have a question, just look at my other videos. I'm kidding. You can ask me whatever you want, really. I may or may not reply. I'll probably reply. But, yep. Later.